Okay, hello. Today we are looking at question 7.9, 7.9, converting between fractions, decimals, and percents. So question 9 reads, write a decimal and you can see it's bolded, we can't forget decimal and percent that are equal to 4 over 5, equal to 4/5. And it also wants us to explain the strategies that we used. So let me switch to a nice, I like the look of blue, just so I can differentiate it from this black. Nice blue marker. Write a decimal and percent that are equal to 4/5. Explain the strategies that we used. Well, the first thing we want to do to answer a question like this, we want to remember that all fractions, no matter what is our numerator and our denominator, are very simply just division operations. So what do I mean by operations? An operation is any relationship between two numbers where you have to do something between them. So adding is an operation, multiplying is an operation, subtracting is an operation, and dividing. Those are our four most common operations. So when I say that a fraction at its most basic is just a division operation, all I'm saying is 4 over 5, or sometimes called 4/5, can equally just be expressed as 4 divided by 5. And this gets us well on our way to turning our fraction into a decimal. That's our easiest switch to make. We can, using our handy dandy calculator, just do our 4/5 operation, our 4 divided by 5, right on our calculator, and that will give us a decimal. So 4 divided by 5 equals 0.8. 4 divided by 5 equals 0.8. And the nice thing about this, by writing this out, we have shown our work. So we have partly explained the strategies that we used, although just to be safe, we might want to write that out at the end of the question. So we've found our decimal. There's our decimal. It asks us for the decimal, so let's just scratch it out. We've done it. But we want to write a decimal and a percent that are equal to 4/5, 4 over 5. Okay, so there are a few ways that we can actually do this. It's relatively easy to move from a decimal to a percentage simply by timesing by 100. That's something that we can just remember. So we can take our 0.8, we can multiply it by 100, and that will give us 80. So if I write down that, always, always, always show your work. 0.8 times 100. If we remember that that's an easy way of going between decimal and percent, then we can simply do that. And if we explain that in our question, that will count as showing our work. There, we get 0.8 as our decimal, 80% as our percentage. But there's another way that I would love for you and everyone in the world to know how to turn a fraction into a percentage. And this is the same way we find out how we did on our test. So whenever we get a test back, it's almost always written as a fraction. You got 4 out of 5 questions right, for instance. That's just an example. And we are often encouraged or tempted to turn this fraction into a percent. Often you'll get, I got 4 out of 5 on my quiz, but how did I actually do? What percentage did I get? The way we do that, the way we turn a fraction into a percentage without having to go through the decimal in this way, well, we take out our calculators. All we do is the top number, in this case 4, our numerator, divided by the bottom number, 5, times 100. So numerator divided by denominator times 100 will always give us the percent. That works on your test. That works on your question here. Any fraction in the world, even if it's an improper fraction, even if the numerator is higher than the denominator, if we take that top number divided by the bottom number and times by 100, it will give us the percentage version of that fraction. So we have found our two answers. It asks us for a decimal. We got 0.8. It asks us for a percent. We got 80%. So I guess I can cross that off as well. We have fulfilled all the requirements of the question except for explain the strategies that you used. So I will probably write this in words just to be as completely crystal clear as possible. Whenever I am writing my answer, I always start with the therefore symbol. 3 dots in a triangle mean therefore. Therefore, to turn the fraction 4/5 into a decimal, let me fix that, a little bit of a misspell, decimal, I divided 4 by 5. Our numerator by our denominator. 4 divided by 5 gave us 0.8. Explain the strategies you used. How do we find the percents? I multiplied the result, 0.8, by 100 to find the percent. Therefore, to turn the fraction 4/5 into a decimal, I divided 4 by 5. I divided my top number by my bottom number. I multiplied the result, 0.8, by 100 to find the percent. So this might sound a little verbose, this might sound a little bit wordy, but the question does ask us to explain the strategies that we used to find the decimal and the percent. And I don't want to take any chances, you know? Me as a teacher, would I give you full marks if you did like a point form version of this? Yeah, probably. But I definitely want to get full marks because, you know, I understand how to do this. I did the work. Why cheap out at the last minute and get only half marks just in case we missed some little bit? So I make sure that I explain exactly what I did to find this answer because that's what the question asks. If the question didn't ask me to explain these strategies, I'd be perfectly happy just circling my answers in red like usual and leaving it at that. But this question was different. This question asked me to explain how I got those answers. So just to sum it up, I wanted to write a decimal and a percent that are equal to 4/5 and then explain my strategies. These are my strategies. To find the decimal, I recognize that a fraction is just a division operation, and I divided the top number by the bottom number, 4 divided by 5. 4 divided by 5. I used my calculator for this. 0.8. So just like that, in a snap, I turned 4/5 into a decimal, 0.8. I took that decimal, 0.8, and to turn it into a percentage, I simply multiplied it by 100. This applies to any decimal. If you have a decimal version of a number and you want to turn it into a percent, you just multiply it by 100. 0.8 times 100 equals 80. 80% to be precise. Our shortcut to turning any fraction in the world directly into a percent, just take the top number, numerator, divided by the bottom number, denominator, and times it by 100. 4 divided by 5. Oops, that was 4 divided by 55. 4 divided by 5 times 100. 80%. And because the question asked me to explain the strategies that I used, I didn't skimp on my words. Therefore, to turn the fraction 4/5 into a decimal, I divided 4 by 5. I multiplied the result, which was 0.8, by 100 to find the percent. If I were a teacher and I was encountered with this, I would give it 2 check marks and a smiley face. That's exactly what I want to give you, so give it a try on your own. Good luck. You got it.